One of the most asked questions I get is, how are you able to tell individual blue jays apart? To most people, blue jays all look the same, which I can totally understand. This isn't the case though. Each jay has their own unique characteristics in looks and behaviors, similar to how humans do. These distinctions are what have allowed me to give names to individual jays, and therefore follow certain birds for years. In this video, I'm going to shine a light on the variables that make it possible to distinguish between them, showing you what to look for the next time you're watching your jay buddies, therefore further enriching your birdwatching experience. If you are a keen observer and have the time to invest in getting to know your jays, you should have success with recognizing each. The most important thing to help you tell the blue jays apart is the bridle-like black markings on their head, face, and neck. How dark or light the black is, as well as the size and shape of the markings, is different for each jay. It may not look like it at first glance, but these are 3 different jays. Can you see any differences? With some observation, these nuances come to light. As seen here, the lovely jay on the left, Sweet Girl, has thicker and darker markings around the eyes than the pretty female Snowy on the right. Take notice of how Sweet Girl's extends further up than Snowy's. She also has a more prominent eyeline mark at the corner of the eyes. Moving on to the black markings that extend down the side of the head connecting to the neck. The shape is different. Differences like these are in all the other jays as well, like here with these 2 males, Blue on the left and Spot on the right. Something else to check for is odd markings in places that other jays don't have, such as here with Sweet Blue. He has a black section on one of his flight feathers on the left side. After you get the facial markings down enough to begin recognizing certain jays, this next part will further help too. The shade of blue in the plumage on their head and back. One thing that is neat about these jays is the fact that the shade varies between individuals. This male named Blue is more of a baby blue color, whereas his mate, Sweet Girl, is a darker, almost purple-like blue. Take notice of the facial feathers as well. Sweet Girl's is much whiter than Blue's, and she doesn't have a prominent blue smudge of color under her chin. Overall size is another thing that can be noticeable. Sweet Girl is smaller than Blue, which is typical in blue jays. Females tend to be smaller. All of these combined features help to make each jay distinct, enough that I've been able to undoubtedly know who is who instantly for years now. Once you get these few things down, maybe then you will begin to notice the other features of jays that vary, such as the size and shape of their eyes, eyebrows, bills, head, and crest. Yep, they're all different too, but on a more subtle level. Not only does the appearance of individual jays vary, but so do their personalities. From knowing the jays in my area for over 11 years, I have noticed the quirks that help give each jay their individualism, making the whole interaction with them that much more fun. Sweet Girl is my little fussy pants. She always does a full-out wing flickering with nasal-like sounds or low whiny ones when in the company of other jays, especially if they are on her turf. Her mate Blue is picky about his peanuts and does things like tearing off the stringy part at the end. He will not take one until it is gone. Fiona has never grown to trust me enough to take a peanut from my hand. Instead, she stays up at the top of a tree waiting for me to throw one in the air for her to catch. She's really good at that. Feisty Jay is a wing flicker like Sweet Girl, but doesn't do it quite the way she does, and makes different, louder sounding calls while in the act. He also always seems to manage to wedge another peanut in his bill, no matter how crammed it already is. Sweet Blue is very observant and more on the quiet side. He prefers to take it all in before reacting, if he does at all. And like his mom, he's a bit of a wing flicker. One last thing I'd like to mention is the fact that each of these jays actually sound different from one another too. Jay calls, for example, may all sound the same to human ears, but due to my close relationship with blue jays, I've been picking up on the subtleties in them. Blue jays use these calls to locate their mate or keep in contact when there is some distance between the two. There must be differences. How else would they be able to tell if it's their mate calling out or a neighbor jay? For this reason, I know when it is Snowy, Beau, Blue, Sweet Girl, Feisty Jay, Fiona, or Sweet Blue before I even see them, just by their sound. Differences like all that I have mentioned must help jays distinguish between one another, be that by appearances, habits, or slight nuances in their calls. Each of their uniqueness makes it impossible for me to mix them up, and wow, is the experience ever an enthralling one. It adds such a deeper level to these encounters when one can pick out individuals among the flock. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it helps you know your jays better. Thank you for watching. Happy birding! If you'd like to support my channel, the very best way is by liking this video or sharing it with other fellow birders. One other way is by visiting my shop at lesleythebirdnerd.com, where you can get a little something back at the same time or a gift for a friend or loved one. Thank you for the support.